In this video, we're going to be taking a look at modifying an existing design just a little bit because I have an idea for a gift and I want to personalize this design a little bit. And so that's what we're going to show you here. So we're going to start with a design that was provided as a free download on the Bling Craftology Facebook page. And if you don't know about Bling Craftology, you should definitely check it out. And this design was provided by the Stone Ranger, aka Steve Grimes. And I have an idea of how I want to maybe modify this design a little bit. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to just drag our EPS download file right here into the CorelDRAW workspace. And we're going to make some changes. So the first thing we're going to do is right click and choose ungroup all and delete the parts that we don't want. So I don't want that, or this. Now one of the things I might want to do is go ahead and assign a color to these stones. So let's go ahead and do that quick. I don't know. I guess for now we'll make our champagne bottle. I guess we'll do a clear champagne bottle. Okay. So now we have all of these have all been defined for us. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because one of the things I want to do is I want to take and decrease the amount of spacing between stones. So let's do that. So we're going to make the whole design smaller. And if we come over here to the Specialty tab and hit Reset Stones, it'll reset these stones. So now you can see they're a little bit closer together. I'm going to make it just a little bit more closer together. Make it a little bit smaller yet. And now I've gone crazy because now they're all touching. So somewhere there's a happy medium. Maybe just a little bit, just a tiny bit more. All right. So let's just say we're happy with that. Now what we want to do is we want to take a quick gander at the design and make sure there aren't any stones that are too close together. And really just to illustrate the point, you see the spacing between this line? I mean, if you come up here, the space between that one, well, and right here too, this is pretty tight as well. A couple of these lines are pretty tight. There's about 3 lines there. Even this one might be a little bit tight. So let me show you how we can clean that up. What we're going to do is we're just going to grab that row of stones that we want to modify. Now, when you come over here to the editing tab, we have this respace function. Well, we need to tell EasyStone where the start point is. And so we're going to hold our shift key and deselect that stone and then reselect it. And what that tells EasyStone is the last stone that was selected, that is going to be our start point. So when I hit respace, it'll reshuffle these stones and then I can just right click to get rid of one. See how easy that is? And now it's spaced a little better. So watch this. We'll make a selection of all but that last stone in that row. Hold our shift key, click on that last stone, hit respace, right click, drops one stone, and then we can delete that stone path. So you can see, perfect spacing. So this next row, if we think that's a little bit tight, let's use that lasso tool here in CorelDRAW X6, hit respace, right click, delete. How cool is that? And we just kind of keep doing that. Little tiny change. Right click to get rid of one stone. And I think I'm happy with the bottom part of our bottle. And now let's look up here. Now I did notice that up here we've got an issue where maybe these stones are a little bit tight together. That's one thing. But then we also have row issues. So we're just going to come in here. We'll grab, and all we need to do is just kind of use our arrow keys, and we could just give this a bit more space. Something like that. And now for this, and see, sometimes too, I don't know, I like to do fun things. So what if we did this? I like to add extra dimension and texture to a design. So I'll go ahead and pop those to SS16s. We'll tell you what, let's drop one. Let's move that out a little bit. And let's go ahead and space these horizontally. See, so you can see that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and select the whole row here. So sometimes just by adding a different stone size, yeah, Now we've complicated the design a little bit because we have more than one stone size. But I think sometimes it adds a little bit extra texture too. And for this, I think we're going to go ahead and delete. And we're going to space these out again. So you don't have to do that, obviously. But I don't know, I just thought it might be fun to add a little bit extra texture to the top of our bottle there. Okay, so minor changes. And now if we select the entire design, we are a little bit over about 8 7/8 inches. All right, so now what change did I really want to make? Well, the one change I really want to make is I want a full label here. So let me show you what we're going to do. What I would do is drag down a guideline there, and we're going to drag down a guideline there, and then that kind of gives us a reference point as we come straight across, and then I'm going to pull in a guideline there. Okay, and then we can basically just take our 3-point curve tool, and we can go from this point all the way over to this intersection here, and then we could just pull down, and you can see we've created that part of our label there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and drag it straight up and go from this node right to that point there, so you can see what we did there. So then I'm going to grab that lasso tool again, and I'm going to delete the stones from there, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and just drag it down a bit, like so. Now I'm a big one for symmetry. So the distance, whatever this arbitrary distance is, I want that to be the same amount down here. So what I'm going to actually do is grab both of those lines. So I click on one, hold my shift key and click on the other, and then I can drag it down and make a copy. Now if I take this and drag it straight down to there, then you can see I'll have the same symmetry. Yes, I have a duplicated line, but I have the same symmetry. It's offset the same amount. So now we can go ahead and get rid of the original label that Steve provided for us. So now our original label is gone. So then we'll go ahead and grab our 2-point line tool and go from node to node like so. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Now over here it looks like, you see it's not going right to that corner, but down here I think it is. Yep. So we want to go from node right down to node. Now let's see what's going on here. Something isn't exactly right. So let me undo that. That's why I love guidelines, because they help us not make those mistakes. I see what's going on. All right, so let's go ahead and take these two lines then, and let's move them where they belong, which is sometimes hard to do with guidelines in the way, mind you. So let's move those over. There we go. And then we'll delete this. Okay. Now that should line right up, and it does. All right, perfect. So now we'll go from node to node, and then we'll do the same thing here. We'll go from node to node, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and use the Smart Fill tool to fill in our label. Now in my case, I'm just going to have one color label, basically like Steve did. So we're going to take those 3 pieces and weld them together. But I'm going to push this down to the bottom of the layer stack, so shift page down. And then what we're going to do is give this line some kind of thickness. So we'll use our outline pen dialog box and give that line of thickness. That may be a little crazy, but I think 1.5 actually will probably work pretty good. So we'll give this a 1.5 as well. And then what we're going to do here is, if we go to wireframe mode, see how that has no thickness to it, even though we just gave it a thickness? Well, if you use this tool right here, which is the Convert to Outline tool, you can also get that tool by going up to the Arrange menu, Convert to Outline. But this is on, this tool set here is really nice to have. It's a free toolbar that you can download off the website, and have all the most commonly used tools right here at your disposal rather than going through all these various menus. But at any rate, if we choose this option here, then you can see we have a line thickness. And then we want to do the same thing down here, convert to line. I do want to show you something here. See how this works here? You can see that right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to select that line and this one, hold the shift key down, and watch what happens. We're going to pull it out, but by holding the shift key down, see how when we pull it out to the right, it goes out to the left at the same amount, and all we're looking to do is just pull it out a teeny tiny bit. So that point is beyond that. That's it. Let's go back to enhance mode and see why we had to do that. What we're going to do now is we're going to trim our label. So hold our shift key, click on our green label, and let's go ahead and perform a trim function. And then we can delete these black lines. And then you can kind of see we have what Steve gave us originally was that little line there. Okay. So now we still have only one piece here. We're going to right click to get rid of the black outline. And if we wanted to, we can right click an existing shape, copy fill here, copy all outline properties, copy all properties. We just want to copy the fill. And that will give us the exact same fill. Okay. Now we do have these other lines that, these other outlines. Let's go ahead and right click on EG. That gets rid of our guidelines. And I'm just going to select that line there, select this line, and select this line. Okay. So now we have a full label of champagne. And the reason I wanted to go through all that work is I thought it would be fun if we did a monogram. So let me show you that. We're going to just type in a monogram. I'll just use my initials for the example. Alright, so we're going to use a monogram font. We'll come over here to our font manager just because we can. And we'll use the Monogram KK font. This font, the Monogram KK font, is available on dafont.com. And so what we're going to do here is let's take this first one and make it J. And then we'll make this one K. And then the last one, we'll make that T. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my J and I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. And my K and my T, I'm going to just squish it down a little bit. Bring it up. I'm going to go ahead and scale it up a little bit and figure out how big I want it in relationship to my J. I think I want something about like that. I think will work okay. So then I'll take my T and line it up here. And then I will go ahead and push it over as well. So we're going to do a monogram, something like that. And if we go to wireframe mode here, see the wireframe, you can see all these extra lines. All that would cut. So what we're going to do is we're going to select everything. We're going to come here to the convert to curves. And as soon as we do that, then we can weld it. So you can see how that now all those extra overlapping lines have gone away. Now we're not done yet because this is really thin here. So I want to thicken that up a little bit by applying just a tiny bit of contour. So we'll grab our contour tool and we'll click on our shape here and we're just going to add a little bit of contour. And it won't take much to really thicken that up. Now you can see we're at 0.007. I'm going to drop it down to 3. You can see it's not much, but it's just enough to give us that thickness that I'm really looking for. So watch how this is going to work. So you can see how much thicker that is. And even though we didn't do very much, but it will make the weeding process easier. So we'll go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. Now think about this. What if you did this for like a bride and groom, for example? You could do their initials. You could put their wedding date at the bottom and make sure it's, you know, for the reception or whatever. And how fun would that be? So, you got to kind of think outside the box a little bit of what you could possibly do with designs when you get them. But I think that might be a really fun option for you. So what we're going to do here is let's go ahead and select those two, and we're going to punch it out by doing a combine function. So we choose that combine option, and there you go. Okay, so how fun is that? Let's go ahead and throw a weed box around it again. And yeah, if we want to, tell you what we're going to do. Let's take all these glitter pieces, make them all one piece by using that combine function, and then when we do that, then we can come in here with our glitter fill option. We'll apply our glitter, and let's go ahead and simulate our stones. And there you go. So now you can kind of see how by punching that out, you'll look back through the shirt color. But what a great idea for a wedding gift, to put their wedding date on there and their initials, and have these shirts available at the reception. And notice that just that extra little bit of dimension, simple little change. Throw a few bigger stones in there just for some fun too. So anyhow, just wanted to give you an idea of how you can take an existing design, manipulate it a little bit, and create something all your own. Thanks for watching.